Hello everyone, welcome back to Simulated Heaven, and today we're playing a game which is called Esport Manager. I managed to get a key for this and I've been playing it for a few hours, and I thought I would do a first impressions video. So obviously from the name you can work out that this is about you manufacturing and designing a esport team that are going to be amazing, that are going to win everything, blah de blah. I've got my team here. They're called Hong Kong Fire. Yeah, they're going to be causing a lot of fires in a good way. But yeah, in this game you can choose that your team are in the FPS or the MOBA genre. I have chosen FPS because frankly I've never really played a MOBA. I do have a basic understanding, but I just thought it'd be a lot easier for me if I did FPS. So, my team. Now, if you want to be super famous in esports, you need to have a name with lots of capital K's in it and a funny sounding, all you have to do is take a real word and then add a lot of capitals to kind of make the word again, but in a funny way, and then you're going to be super famous on esports, obviously. So this guy here, because he looks a bit like a construction worker for some reason, I called him Deconstruct, right? And then this character looks a bit like a nurse, so I call her the nurse. He has a beard, so he's called Beards. That's easy. And he literally looks like a fireman, so I called him Fighting Fires. And for those of you that might have watched the A-Team, you will know why he's called BA. Yeah. So, anyway, let's load up the game and I'll show you some of the mechanics of the game. So, when you load into the game, this is your area, your house, and in your house, you have a kitchen, and this is where the players eat. So, if I was to click on one of these players, oh, in fact, it's already up. So you see in the bottom right-hand side here, the players all have three health bar style of things. The first one is for the amount of rest. The second one is for what they call constitution, but you basically have to bring them over here for the gym. Obviously the bedroom is to improve the rest, and then the final one is for food, and then that's why there's a kitchen. There are other rooms that you can unlock, but I haven't unlocked them yet. I believe there's a social media room, a sponsors room, and an achievements room, but I haven't done any of that yet. The thing that I find a little bit weird is I would have hoped that when your players are at home, that there's a way that you can improve their skill. But it seems like, from what I can work out, the only way of improving their skill, so when you see the avatar, the characters on the top left-hand side here, you can see that this first player that looks like a construction worker, his skill is 18. But it seems like, from what I can work out, the only way to increase that is to go for the skills here, the player skills here, and to buy him the perks or skill, whatever these are called. They don't really have a name, right? That seems to be what I can work out. Now, I would have preferred it if there was a way that you can upgrade the station, the players' station, and that would help them improve their skill, because they've got a better setup. Or if you could, get them in the gym, or because when you are talking about esports, it's all about reaction. So there must be some kind of exercises that you can ask them to do at home that would improve their skill. But there doesn't seem to be any real element in that. The three things here, the rest, the constitution, and the food, the only thing is they have to be 100 before you start a match. Otherwise, the player might underperform. But I would rather that there was more of an element about that was one of the ways that they would improve their skill, if you know what I mean. And I mean, I would have hoped that as the players finish more matches, I would hope that the matches also improve their skill, but I can't seem to see that. So it would be kind of nice, first of all, if it was a bit clearer exactly how the players increase their skill. But I would, I would rather that they implemented other ways that were better, better ways of improving skills. I do understand, yes, I do think having the player's skills is a good idea, but that ought to be more of a bonus, not the only way of improving the player's skill, if you know what I mean. I would rather there was a base at home where you can ask them to practice and all this other stuff which would help them improve their skill. After finishing a match, that should also slightly improve their skill, and then the actual perks, the player skills that you buy, that should be more of a bonus. Anyway, one of the things I do really like is you can see that when the players are here, there is actually like a game on their screen. I think that is kind of cool, right? And then when they walk away, there's like a Windows screen. I think that is kind of cool. Right, so when I was talking about that you cannot upgrade things in your house, this is another weird thing, right? In the top left-hand side, you can see that I have this overall level. So at the moment, I'm 4. And then it says 101 and 400. So I need to get the XP to 400 to get to level 5. Now, this is quite important because you need to improve the levels for you to unlock more of the skills, whether it be the player skills. So you can see that when I get up to level 5, I can unlock more of these skills here. And also the team skills. And these seem to unlock quite slowly at the beginning of the game. Like I've been playing for a few hours and I feel like that these unlock a little bit too slowly maybe. So it seems, well, that you do get XP from every time that you do a match, but I find it weird that all of the furniture and everything that you buy in your house all increases the XP. So for example, if I was to improve his workstation, I just have to click on the shop, I click on him, and I can upgrade all his stuff, but all that really does is increase the XP, right? From what I can see, unless there's a hidden thing they haven't explained. So for example, I can actually upgrade his monitor here, you see, and then I'm going to get 25 extra XP, you see, and then it's gone up 126 of 400 now. Now I thought at first that you would get like a monthly or a regular, that 44 XP on a regular basis, but I think it's just like a one-off thing. Again, it's not really explained. That is kind of what I have worked out so far, and I find it a bit weird that by upgrading all of this furniture and all this stuff, you're only increasing XP. I really think in the future they should make it so that if you really improve the work area, that will help them to improve their skills faster or something of that nature anyway. Yeah. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure that everyone is at 100, and then I will show you a match, how a match works. I don't really think there's anything else I need to explain about the mechanics of the game. You can do sparring, but sparring, it doesn't really improve the player's skill or anything. It only helps you with the tactics, like to work out tactics. But I think when you say sparring, that should also slightly improve the player's skill as well. You know, so at the moment, for me, sparring is a little bit pointless at the moment. Right, so the only other thing that I want to show you before we do a match is you can do sponsored tournaments, you see, and when you enter these, you it doesn't affect your league ranking, and it's a way of earning XP and earning extra money, basically. Okay, so I don't think there's anything else that I really need to explain in the game. That's basically it. And I'm going to run through. So after every match, I always run through all of my characters and see what they need. So this guy needs a little bit of a rest. I just want to kind of make sure everyone's at 100. I then go to the next one. She's a little bit annoying because she needs a little bit of everything. So does he. So we're going to click on the character and click on something that they need. This guy really needs to have a sleep. So there we go. And this guy needs quite a few things as well. So let's just keep running down the characters. This guy's 100%. She needs a little bit of a sleep, not much. This guy, let's ask him to eat. Now, one of the things that I'll say is that you can actually improve the areas. So when I first started, I only had one chair here in the kitchen, and it was a little bit annoying because you could only have one of the characters here eating at a time. But I did buy an extra chair so that area I could use more, and I did also purchase this weights bench over here, so that again gives me a bit more options here for when I'm making sure that everyone's at 100%. Let's get her to eat. He's already at 100%. He just needs to have a little bit of a rest. So I have to say that this part of the game is slightly tedious, and I think it would be really cool if in the future they added some way to automate this a little bit. It would be a bit like RimWorld, where you kind of prioritize what the characters have to do, but they kind of automatically do it themselves. Or at very least, it would be awesome if you could like stack a load of orders so that they would do one thing after another in an automated process, because it is a little bit annoying when you have to like manually run through everybody and make sure that they've eaten and you know that they've got everything up to 100. Yeah. Anyway, let's make sure that these guys, I think I already did that. Everyone else is good. So after this, I'll show you a match. Now I have to say, at the beginning of this game, I was doing really badly in the games, right? And actually, I'll start a match before I start really talking about this more, because that will hopefully help. Everyone's at 100 now, right? Yeah, so let's do a match. Start the match. So, you can see here that there's an option for you to automatically buy items. I will turn that off at the beginning, I think. And your players all have these perks, and I've already chosen the perks for all my players. And you can also choose their starting point if they start at the top, the middle, or the bottom, and you can also choose their behavior, aggressive, balance, and defensive. And here is where you choose the weapon that they start with, right? Now, I went through a lot of time trying to play around with all of these options here and trying to buy up a load of perks, but I was still losing a lot of games and found it kind of really annoying. And then I decided, right, screw this. So I bought everyone this heavy weaponry master perk. So at the beginning, I only had one of the players that was using a heavy weapon, and I just was losing again and again. I did try and play around with a lot of these other options, but I was doing really badly. And then finally, I decided that I would have a team full of these heavy weapon guys, and then I actually won a match like really, really easily. And it's kind of interesting because all of the players, they're really slow, but because they all have these really powerful weapons, I found that it was a lot easier for me to win. So I'm not quite sure that the balance in the game is there yet. And I feel like that the perks, they don't really have enough of an effect. Even you buy up a lot of perks, it doesn't seem to make a lot of effect. And also the behavior, I mean, I will actually show you this in the game. So I'm going to start everyone on aggressive in the first round, and maybe in the second round I will have everyone on defensive, just to show you that there doesn't seem to be that much of a difference. Okay, so let's start our game. I've been talking a lot. Now, there are a couple of maps, and you can see that off your players will go, and they're trying to cap these points here. You can see that the score is up here at the top. We are the green number. Now, you can kind of see that... Oh, and I need to buy stuff. So already, one of the reasons that I buy everything at the beginning is I basically want to upgrade everyone straight from the first heavy weapon up to the last one, the most powerful one, immediately. I don't see the point in buying the first one, the second one, then the third one. And that's what they will do if you ask them to automatically buy everything. So I would rather manually upgrade them straight onto the third one straight away. So that's what I'm going to do with this guy. He already has the third one. And then we're going to go like that. So yes, you can see that although my players are very slow, and at the beginning they will lose on points, usually overall they will end up winning because it's a bit overpowered with them all with these very heavy weapons. There's like 3 guys here with heavy weapons. So one of the things I'll say while this game is happening is that the AI doesn't seem very realistic at the moment. I think they really need to work on making the AI like act in a more realistic way. The players, they basically just run out in the open. They don't really use cover. They just, it seems like a very rudimentary style of AI, and I think they really need to work on it. So you can see that I have 63 points and they have 27. So, like I said, I do find that this style of having everyone with the heavy weapons, and I totally forgot about buying stuff because I was talking. So even though I haven't upgraded anyone else and I haven't bought anything else, I'm still winning by a very high margin. That's kind of funny. Anyway, we're going to upgrade them anyway. I was like chatting away there, and then I suddenly realized I have like over $2,000 that I need to spend. That's kind of fun. And then usually after I've upgraded everyone, then I will turn on the automatic buying option, so they can buy it. Because the only other thing are the grenades, and yeah, so I just allow them to buy that or automatically at this point. But you can see I'm basically annihilating this team. So yeah, it's kind of, I really like the idea of this game. I think that if they work on the AI and work on refining it so that the strategy element actually works a bit better, then I think they've got a really good idea for a game. So you can see that I basically wiped out this team incredibly easily. So yeah, and I was basically losing every game that I played. I think I only won one of my games, and that was in a couple of hours of gameplay. And then I finally worked out that by having them all with one style of weapon seemed to work a lot better. So this time I want to let them automatically buy from the start, and we'll see if that makes any real difference. And then I'm going to show you that I'm going to have everyone on defensive, and we're going to see that pretty much it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. They still just walk out into the middle. They still seem to walk in a very, very similar way, as you'll see. Oh, they're super fast. Look at them. Off they go. And I can change the speed, the game speed. I'll do that. So you can see that these are on defensive, but they're still just walking out in the middle here. Like, in my eyes, it doesn't really seem to make much of a difference in my eyes. Okay, so we are still winning. There was a guy that went up here somewhere. 54. Actually, this time is not quite as easy. Beards. Where are you going, Beards? Why is he walking there when it's already been captured? That's a bit strange. Yeah. One of the other things, it would be really cool if you could assign players to work in like a group. I haven't seen that option, and I think that would be really cool. So, yeah, here we go again. We're going to win. Yeah, so, you know, basically after I worked out that I could have everyone with a heavy weapon and with the perk, the mastery perk of the heavy weapon, after I started that, I'm basically annihilating most of the teams. Of course, as things get harder, that might change. Yeah, but like I was saying, I really like the idea of this game. They just need to refine it more. They need to make the AI in the matches like act more realistically, use cover. They need to make the behaviors more different, so you can see that I had everyone on defensive, but it didn't really make much of a difference. They still seem to act in a very similar way. So they need to have options for the tactics that actually seem to make a real difference. The perks as well, they don't seem to make a major difference. For a long time, I was buying up loads of perks, hoping that was going to help me to win, and that didn't really help me at all. It was only when I did the heavy weaponry that was the only thing that suddenly helped me to start winning again and again. And like I said, it would be awesome if they could have a way so that you can group, so that I can say that this player and this player, they always have to stay together. So having like a team within your whole team that always stay together, because I find that at the moment there's AI that just roam around on their own, and if you're into FPS, you will know that that it's a very bad thing usually if the players, roam off on their own. It would also be awesome if in the future they implemented so that you could actually mark where all of the players had to go, or even you could on the map make like a route so they always follow a certain route every time. That would be interesting as well. Whatever they do, I think they just need to refine and improve the nature of this game. The idea, I think, is really good, but they just need to work on the refinement. I think if they do that, they're actually going to have a decent game here. Now, this game only came out about a week ago, and I hope they're going to work on it more and more. It has a really good base, but I think that they just need to tweak it a bit more. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I might just see you in the next one.